Hey there, reluctant COVID quarantiners. Looks like they're ready to release us into the wilds once again. And I've been meaning to do talk about stress reduction during this difficult time. And I've been way too busy doing far too little to get around to it. Uh, but anyway, there's no such thing as uh, you know, well, put it this way. Yes, it's been a very stressful time, but there's stress as we get back to what may or may not resemble our normal lives. Um, anyway, let me talk to you about ways to reduce stress because that's always a good topic to know and good information to know. So, whenever I talk to my clients about this topic, I like to use the analogy of stress fracture, stress on a bridge, and stress in our lives. And I ask, well, what do these three things have in common? Just to like get a person focused on exactly what stress is, and it's a real hard one. Uh, I'll give you a second to ponder it. Okay, one second. And so uh, the common factor is that something is out of alignment. Okay, there's stress fracture, the bone's out of alignment with itself. There's been an earthquake, say, and the bridge is now out of alignment with the land around it. And stress in our lives is about the idea that there's something out of alignment. And I say the idea because, it's all in our heads, right? Um, and one example that I like to use is pointing out that a whole lot of people get stressed stuck in traffic. And the idea that I point out is that sitting still isn't necessarily stressful. I mean, we're doing it right now. We do it sitting in front of the TV, but there's something out of alignment when we're sitting in traffic, moving very slowly or not moving at all. Give that a ponder. What's out of alignment there? Well, what's out of alignment is the fact that roads are meant for movement. And we're not moving in the way that we think we should be moving. But now, if we start moving around this room without getting up on our feet, we're going to be plenty stressed, right? We aren't stressed now. Sitting around isn't stressful. So it's understanding that whatever it is, whether we think we don't have enough money or we don't have enough time or enough anything, enough love, enough appreciation, the stress that we're experiencing is a sense of out of alignment. Something's out of alignment. So, getting back to the car, since I was a person who was very stressed sitting in traffic, what I do now is I remember that I sit still all the time, and I'm not stressed. Or the fact that I've got a car, and I'm real fortunate to have a car. I mean, most of the world would kill for my problems right then, knowing that they have a car on an American road and they're, you know, going wherever they're going. I mean, and that's another thing. I mean, we always get where we're going, and in this day and age with cell phones, we can certainly contact a person if we're going to be late, and that's the source of the stress, is not being where we're supposed to be when we're supposed to be there. Because let's face it, often we're just not even needing to go anywhere on time, and we get stressed sitting in a car. And so, with that awareness in hand, we can reevaluate all things in our lives that we think are causing stress. I mean, most people don't think in terms of how they've got enough money or they're rich, or, I mean, certainly not rich, right? But again, if you look at what the standard American has, even if they don't have much, it's far more than most people around the rest of the world. And then on top of it, start looking at it from the perspective of what people have had before the times that we live in, and we're ridiculously wealthy. I mean, the idea that I can go over to that refrigerator and get food all day, every day. I mean, this is almost unheard of in the course of human history up until the last, what are we going to say, 50, 60 years. And, certainly this country, most first world countries anyway. But, we have abundance, and we really don't think about that because we tend to focus on what we don't have at the time that we don't have it. And again, we can shift that perspective just like that. Let me do that. Just like that. All right. And so it's well worth learning to do this because it definitely does alleviate stress. And just having this information is all fine and dandy. You're going to be better off for it. And it's going to be that much better always when you practice that habit of shifting into that mindset over time. I've talked about how we create new neural pathways and all that stuff. So, practice is really, really important. And you can practice just sitting there. Just think about the things that stress you and think about new ways to interpret those things. And the more you think about it in these new terms, the more it will automatically come to you when you need it. And so I'd really like anybody that wants to work on their stress reduction to consider that as a priority strategy. There are other things that one can do. I've talked about meditation ad nauseum, exercise, these kinds of things are very, very valuable when it comes to stress reduction. But boy, this is the jewel in the crown right here. So I hope that you take this information and use it to the best of your ability because you're worth it. All right, later.